Hey guys, what's going on? We're here riding the 2018 Yamaha NIKEN, Yamaha's new multi-wheel leaning vehicle. 2 wheels in the front, 1 wheel in the back, 15-inch wheels in the front, 117 in the back. And the whole purpose of this Yamaha NIKEN is to provide exceptional cornering, exceptional handling, exceptional cornering. So all you guys and girls who want to just get out there and rip, absolutely rip, and feel the handling of a machine like this. So, you know, 2 wheels in the front, you got more stability. We're able to go faster in the turns because you have twice the footprint as you would a motorcycle. And that's the whole point of this thing. It's made to almost kind of be like a ski, where you just have incredible handling. We're up here in the Austrian Alps doing a test of this thing. Yamaha hasn't released many specifications. The price is still TBD, but you can expect a price of right around $16,000. That's what you can expect. And you know, even though this thing has 2 front wheels, you might assume that it's actually an entry-level machine, but it's not. This is for advanced riders. It won't self-balance, so you got to have the kickstand. It won't just self-balance. It can tip over if you're not on top of things. And yeah, for an advanced rider who's looking for something really unique, real different, and values handling over everything. So far we've logged, you know, probably 50 miles, 60 miles. We're going on a 183-mile tour today. And this thing handles very, it's an interesting animal. The way it steers is, it's kind of motorcycle-like, but kind of almost ATV almost like. The front suspension on this thing is actually a fully independent front suspension. So the pair of fork legs on the left and the pair of fork legs on the right, they function independently of the one another. Up front, on the forwardmost leg, is a 41mm fork from KYB. And the purpose of this fork is to maintain the trajectory of both wheels, so the both wheels are going in the same direction, because you don't have an axle going between both wheels. So that's the primary function of the forward 41mm fork. There's no spring in there, there's no damping, valving, but there is oil just to keep everything lubed up and stuff. The rear fork is the actual suspension. So the rear fork is a 43mm diameter, also KYB fork, and that actually provides the spring and the damping and the bump absorption properties. There's rebound and compression adjustment independent on those, so you can tune the way that stuff moves. And like I said earlier, it's fully independent, so if the left one hits a bump, it's going to be independent of the right suspension. So that gives you better articulation, so they're not moving at the same pace. Let's say you hit a bump on the left side but not on the right, fully independent. And so far so good. I mean, the experience is actually very natural. It doesn't feel abnormal. It feels motorcycle-y but kind of ATV too. But if you're a traditional motorcyclist, I don't think you'd have a problem hopping on this thing and getting acclimated. You know, cranked over in the corners like we were earlier today, it definitely feels, it's hard to find the limit. Like, it just has a real interesting feel. I can't really describe it so well. It just feels, I wouldn't say awkward, but just interesting, just different. Like when you're leaned over, the tires are gripping, but it feels just different. Not good, not bad, just different. But I'm looking forward to riding this thing more and really leaning it over. It's cool to be able to ride it. It's interesting because, you know, trail braking and using those kind of dynamics on the motorcycle you don't really need to use that kind of stuff, really, because you have that huge contact patch up front. So it opens up a new world of information here. All right, we're just wait for the group to arrive, so we'll talk to you guys here in a minute. All right, guys, we're back. We're back on the Yamaha NIKEN after that little coffee break, pit stop to regain everyone. And we talked about the front suspension. We talked about the price, the estimated price. Oh God, we're gonna bust. Blew it. Talked about the wheel size, 15s in the front, 17 in the rear. One interesting fact is, back to the front suspension on this thing, Yamaha did a lot of R&D. I know that this bike's kind of new to all of us motorcyclists. We've never really seen anything like it. But believe it or not, Yamaha Motor Corp in Japan has been working on these multi-wheel leaning vehicles for over a decade. So in this decade, they've come up with this interesting front suspension. They call it the parallelogram. It's basically like a interesting linkage, and it allows the front suspension to work independently of one another. We'll show you a shot of it in action. It's very unique, very interesting. But in doing that, when you're going right, the inner wheel actually turns at a sharper angle than the outer. So if you're going left, the left wheel is sharper. If you're going right, the right wheel is sharper. And what that does is it eliminates scrubbing or any like weird trajectory of the wheels as they function in a pair. So kind of a unique engineering solution, and it's cool that Yamaha, of course, the engineers in Japan, they can figure out anything. You know, if we needed to go to Mars tomorrow, Yamaha would figure out a way how to get to Mars. That's how good of an engineering department it has. Now we're riding on Bridgestone's new Batlax A41 Adventure tire. That's OEM fitment. You might kind of think that's kind of weird for an adventure touring tire to come on this motorcycle, but that's how it is. The 15-inch size is specific to this machine, so Bridgestone actually made a 15-inch tire just to fit this thing. We've got a pair of triple disc brakes, 2 disc brakes on the front, 1 in the rear. Yamaha's traditional radial mount 4-piston calipers. Advix calipers, I believe, is what they call those things. And braking feels real good. We have ABS too, so it kind of mitigates any potential problems that might be happening. And the brakes work good. I would have liked to have seen a radial pump master cylinder. We have an older style axial master cylinder, which isn't bad. It's not like the brakes don't work good, but I always like a radial pump master cylinder. It really just it pushes more fluid through that hydraulic system, and really just gives you the power and the feel and the performance that I'm seeking. Obviously, this thing weighs, it's actually surprising, it weighs 155 pounds more than an MT-09. If my memory serves me correctly, a MT-09 weighs right around 425 pounds. And this thing weighs right around 580 with a full tank of fuel. 580 pounds. Crazy that 155 extra pounds come from that extra front suspension, that extra wheel, and you know, the heavy duty components that this motorcycle has. Like the transmission's been beefed up, frame's a little bit heavier, more heavy duty, just to kind of bear with the extra weight and extra load of this machine. But honestly, it doesn't feel like a crazy heavy vehicle. It definitely feels heavier than an MT-09, but I mean, like, look at the way it changes directions. It changes directions quite effortlessly. Really impressed how good it actually changes directions. Of course, we've got Yamaha's D mode, so you can adjust the combined engine power and throttle maps to your liking. Right now we're riding in the middle setting, setting 2. 1's the most aggressive setting. I haven't really played with it that much. Let's put it in 1, see what it feels like. We've got Yamaha traction control on this machine. 2, felt it kicking a little bit on the colder roads when we were giving it some stick. Another cool feature is this thing has an electronic quick shifter, so you can just bang up shifts like that. Just grab the upshift lever, no need to work the clutch, no need to let off the throttle, just shift. We're riding in Europe, that's why we're allowed to do those passing maneuvers here in Europe. They're more flexible than the States when it comes to passing maneuvers. So everything we're doing right now is completely legal for all you guys who like to follow the rules at home. Engine on this thing, 847cc CT3 inline 312 valve, dual overhead cam. These engines are marvelous. That cross plane crankshaft configuration, firing order, it not only does it make the engine sound super cool and give it an absurd amount of immediate torque, but that the power pulses that get put into the tire through the crankshaft, the power pulses just have, I don't understand it, but God, this engine hooks up with the pavement so well. The amount of grip you get from the engine is just insane. It just loads the tire almost perfectly, and you can really maximize that performance of that tire just because it puts the power down so efficiently. If you've never experienced cross-plane performance, you know, it's no joke. There's a reason why those R1s are easy on tires at the racetrack. There's a reason why, you know, these FC09s and T09s do crazy good wheelies, because they put all that power right into the ground. Really a magnificent setup. And you know, with Yamaha, they prove that you can have performance, you can have character, you can have smoothness. You know, the engine doesn't vibrate that much. It's got a little bit of vibration, but to me it's like the good kind. Lets you know that you're riding a motorcycle. So actually a very smooth power plant. Probably only gripe when it comes down to things is, you know, these cross-plane engines, they're not the most efficient. They drink a lot of gas. They're not the most fuel efficient. So if you're looking for an engine that's going to sip down fuel and really give you some good MPGs, these cross-plane engines are not going to be that. But if you're looking for just performance, fun, entertainment, torque, power, oh yeah, cross-plane all day, baby. Got a nice negative backlit LCD instrumentation pad here. Works pretty good. I like the how techy it looks. Almost kind of reminds me of, you know, Suzuki's GSX-R1000, their new techy instrument panel. I really like that thing. All the information's right here. It's really easy to read. I'm sure someone's gonna gripe like, why isn't it color? Motorcycle for $16,000, it should be color. And you know, I'm not gonna say that it wouldn't be nice if it's color, but I don't know. I can live with it. Of course, we got LED lighting front and rear on this machine. Not getting a chance to ride at night, but you know, any motorcycle that's equipped with LED lighting these days, oh, it's just such a tremendous upgrade from the previous halogen setups on older motorcycles. If you ride at night, go do yourself a favor and buy a motorcycle with LED headlamps. It's just gonna make your riding just way more safer, way more enjoyable. Wish we could rip for you guys right now, but we're kind of at the disposal of these slow people in front of us. So don't let this slow riding fool you. It's not by choice, it's by necessity right now. If you haven't seen any of the behind the scenes videos we made, make sure to check those things out. We did some mountain biking with my buddies at Motorcyclist Magazine, and then we did some schlushing yesterday on the mountain. So check that stuff out. You know, Yamaha really wants to showcase that this thing is like skiing, it's like carving, and I'd really say it is. It's very, very similar. We're going to be penning a bunch of written reviews on this thing, so make sure to check the links in the description for links to the articles. Of course, if you're interested in buying any motorcycle parts or accessories, or the Denise kit I'm using, or the new Shoei Neotech 2 helmet, which I totally love. Look at this helmet, it's awesome. Modular. Down. Modular. Down. I love this helmet. If you're interested in this helmet, please use the links in my description. A little bit of that purchase will go to me and help fund this channel. And every little bit helps. So thanks, guys. We're going to check in with you later. We're enough of this slow dog paddle BS. we'll check in with you guys later. Thanks for watching. All right, guys, we passed all the cars and we're back. We're back riding on this Yamaha NIKEN 2018 model. And the engine in this thing, you know, it still has really good power. I have to say though, you know, that extra 155 pounds, you really feel that weight in terms of the engine. The engine just doesn't quite feel as sprightly as it does on the motorcycle, but you got to expect that. I still think this engine works good in this platform, this chassis. A little bit more power would be nice, but not complaining. Really natural feel carving in this thing. Again, like, it doesn't seem like you really need to use trail braking, but for me, old habits die hard, so I'm still using trail braking. All right, guys, we're at our photo stop. We'll check in with you in a little bit. Thanks again for watching. Appreciate every last one of you guys watching and leaving a comment. Make sure to leave me a comment. Let me know if you guys like these videos. We'll see it. All right, guys, here we are. We're back after our photo shoot. Some other cool things about this bike is the riding position. So to accommodate the dual front wheels and all that apparatus, the engineers actually had to move the riding position back by 2 inches. So the seating position is actually 2 inches more rearward compared to the MT-09. Still actually a very comfortable bend. You know, the rear sets are low enough to facilitate a comfortable ride, yet still high enough to have some sport. You know, this isn't a touring bike by any means. It's a sporty motorcycle. And yeah, it's very comfortable. I like this handlebar bend. It's neither too far forward, neither too far back, not too high, not too low. It's a really pleasing bend. There's really not a whole lot to complain about. Probably the only thing maybe is the bike just feels a little bit wide here through the midsection. That's probably my only complaint. But it handles so good and moves so well that I wouldn't really consider it a knock. We have a 12-volt power plug here, so you can charge gadgets. Cruise control, which is a great feature. We talked about Yamaha's D mode. I've been riding it mainly in mode 2. I like mode 2 because it takes a little bit of edge off that throttle. Mode 1 gets a little bit too herky-jerky, just a little bit for me at least. Traction control works good. If you turn traction control off and you use the clutch just right with the throttle, you can actually wheelie this thing. I did it up that hill back there, and it takes a little bit of finesse to get it up, but once it comes up quick, so make sure you're manning that rear brake. Same thing with endos. You can actually nose wheelie this thing a little bit. You just got to come in to a stop with some speed, pull in the clutch, use the brakes pretty strongly to get that rear end to pop up, and you can have some fun on this bike. It's cool. Well, guys, that's a quick review of Yamaha's NIKEN. See the pants review on the 2018 NIKEN. We're going to have more reviews coming out on this channel, so make sure to subscribe. There's going to be part 2 and part 3, and I don't know exactly how many parts we'll have, but we will definitely have multiple parts, just like we've been doing with all the other bike test videos we have. So make sure to subscribe, leave me a comment. Of course, if you guys are interested in any of the fantastic Denise gear I'm wearing, or you need tires for your motorcycle, please use the links in the description of this video. It'll really go a long ways to help allow me to make these videos. You got to remember, man, this camera equipment ain't cheap. And if you crack the screen or bust stuff, which happens when you're using it constantly, it costs a lot of money to replace the stuff. So just yesterday I dinged up my drone. Thankfully not too bad, but I have to replace a couple of the rotors. But I mean, that stuff happens, so please, it really helped me out a lot if you just bought the stuff through the links in my description. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.